Hey there, everybody. It's Uncle Toad, and today I'm here once again with my cousin John,
I am in fact here. Hello.
and we're trying something new today. We're gonna be doing this. First of all, we're gonna be doing like a not doing something specific, and then we're also gonna be like on recording with each other. Like we're not together right now. We're as before we were like recording together, but now we're in our own beds. I don't
We
know if he's
are.
in his bed, but I'm
I'm not in my
assuming.
bed.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in my
Nope.
bed, and I know I'm in my underwear and socks.
All
Um,
right.
very comfy. I got my water with me, and today we're gonna be talking about pets. Yeah,
That's the name of the game today.
yep. And we're gonna be talking about other things like pets, like things that we have to take care of,
Plants and stuff. And I guess
plants
SCOBY, which I
and
didn't know existed.
SCOBY. Yep.
Yep.
Love SCOBY, and then just other things that kind of have like use, like bugs, like
Yeah.
which sounds weird, but
Which
sometimes.
I would count bugs as pets, but then like when you get into like worms and all that good jazz.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, some pets I have, I don't even ever see. So, yeah.
yeah. Like the goblin living under my bed.
I have a bunch I like feed centipedes and I know they're there because I see their shit all over, but I
Oh,
don't
nice.
I only see them every few weeks.
I mean, everyone
Um,
has pet mice. If you don't know where they are, you're not looking hard enough.
yeah, it's so weird. Like we all have like our own living ecosystem in our house if you think about it because we got spiders, sometimes we got ants. I know when we first moved into this new house, we had cockroaches everywhere.
Oh God, that's
Yeah.
nasty.
But it's kind of a beautiful thing because it's like you're not living by yourself. But
I suppose you're right.
the centipedes that I have, other animals, whatnot, and then I get like mice in my bedside window. It's kind of a trippy thing to think about when you really
Oh yeah, I
get
forgot your
down to
window's
it.
like that. Your window's
Yeah,
kind of like a cellar type beat.
yeah, I sleep in my basement, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All
And
right.
Johnny has like he's not in his basement, but he has like a outside window that he can like
I
open
do.
and go out on his deck. So he is
There's
like
like a
kind
little
of
deck
birds.
attached to my room. It's
Yeah.
quite exquisite.
So it's almost like he has like birds and stuff is like his
Yeah,
little
I should start putting bird feeders out there. I mean, I
I
know squirrels would come and eat them, but I kind of like that.
I agree. I think that'd be really cool.
hmm Summer
Okay,
project.
so first thing on our list today is we're going to be talking about our pets. The pets we've had, the pets we want, and the pets we currently have.
All right, let's bring this back to the dawn of time. Everyone, well, I hope everyone had one. I doubt everyone actually had one, but I know we both had one. The African dwarf frogs.
Oh yes. So
The
this
little,
is
you go, you
uh
go.
sorry. This is like a learning shop delight. Let me tell you.
Yep.
You
I mean, I
know,
bought mine at a toy store. I know that.
yes, same. And
And
you have them for like 3 years.
they're amazing. All you have to do is feed them. You can watch them. You don't really have to decorate their tank at all.
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
sure they hate life, but they're a good first pet.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it's same with like hermit crabs. Like it's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
pets actually. Um,
hmm
it's just sad. I'll get back to that later in the video, but
Okay, okay. So
yeah,
I had one named Irish and one named Duke because
I
I lived in North Carolina, so Duke, the college, and
yep,
I'm a Notre Dame fan, so Irish.
I love that. And
Yep.
both of them are like named after colleges too, which is
Yeah,
kind of cool.
it was a
Keeping a
good
theme.
theme. Yep, yep, yep.
So I had a pet dwarf frog named Clover, and then one of them I just never named, and I couldn't tell the
Huh.
difference between them. So
One of mine was light. I think it was Duke that was lighter, and then Irish was a darker one.
were yours in the same tank?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, same with mine. But some people
Yep.
had like two different tanks for theirs.
Huh. Yep, but those
Um,
are fun. All right. And then next, I think the very next dog I had was the queen of the universe herself, Willow de Pillow.
we love Willow.
We love Willow. Willow might be, well, not might be. Willow is the greatest dog to ever touch this planet.
Yeah,
She
she
didn't do
is.
a whole lot of anything, but she did a whole lot of nothing. We know that.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Queen.
It actually,
And
it's making me a little emotional.
yeah, that's tearing up here. All right, who's your next pet? right after the dwarf frogs.
So I had some goldfish and stuff,
Yeah.
but those were like only for a few days. But
Yep.
I think I had like at one point my house was like a farm.
What do you mean by
We
that?
we had we had milkweed that we were growing, and we had pet butterflies that we were taking care of. That same
Huh.
summer we had chickens.
Oh, I remember that.
Yep.
Didn't you guys like feed a duck too and it kept coming back?
We raised ducks from eggs,
Huh.
and they just never left. They we like they got to a certain point where they could take care of themselves, and we just kind of let them be. We didn't feed them anymore, and we just ignored them, and they just never left. They just stayed, and then they had kids, and they ended up coming back year after year. And I'm pretty sure that there's generations of family still come to our neighborhood or our old neighborhood
Yeah, yeah.
every spring after winter. So
That's pretty cool. We always had these geese. They were actually kind of annoying because they would always poop in our yard, and we would always try to play football and we'd step in it. But they always came to our pond across the street from our old house in North Carolina, and they would,
yeah,
yeah, they would come back year after year, always in the summers, and then they would leave when they migrated. And then they would always have babies, but one year their babies, like their nest got raided by a fox. So we heard all the honking, we saw the fox, and then they didn't have any babies that year. So that was pretty sad.
that's really terrible, actually.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of nature, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were just the weak genetic link, and this might have stopped a bad generation of geese from coming.
I sure hope so. We got to see a couple of them grow up, though. All
Yep.
right, let's move on. I had this is actually really cool. My little brother had a fish tank, and he got guppies in it because that's sorry, he had guppies in it. That's a pretty easy fish to have, and they started breeding just because they're guppies, and so there's a bunch of little baby guppies. But then the adult guppies kept eating the baby guppies. So then I eventually got a fish tank, and we had like a whole little guppy farm going on. So we would put all the babies in my tank, and then they would like live nicely. They would grow up. I had a bunch of really cool guppies in that tank, and eventually we had to move. And most of the guppies were kind of dead at that point because we weren't taking great care of them. So that was the end of an era. I will be breeding guppies when I grow up, though.
Yeah,
That's
I was
for
gonna
sure.
say,
Yeah,
because I know
I
that
love,
you have thought about doing that.
yeah, I loved breeding the guppies. And back then I was like in fifth grade, so it was like, I mean, I did it, but my dad did most of like the handiwork. I feel like if I had like to like keeping the tank, like the tank upkeep, that would keep me pretty occupied. I think that I would find that fun.
Yeah. Um.
And oh yeah, you go, you go, you go.
No, you go. You go.
All right. Well, after that, this was just 2020. He was kind of a COVID dog. We got him before anyone knew COVID was going to happen, like in January. But little Max, he's a Cavalier King Charles, which is they're a great dog breed. I mean, he's no Willow, but he's a really good dog. I like him.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
and like, how did they interact? Because I know that Willow and him were together for a few years. So how did they
Yeah.
interact? Like, how was their relationship?
Well, Willow was kind of like I don't know how to put it without sounding like uh very I don't know. I'll just say it. She was like the auntie that always invites you to like the barbecues and like the grill outs on Sundays, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. She
I
was
love that.
yeah, because she was really sassy. And at the point where we got Max, she was already old, like old enough to just be fed up with him kind of, but
Mm-hmm.
she always had a little soft spot for him, so
That's
they would
very cute.
always they would always kind of like play when he was a puppy. And then after that, they would like bark at the stuff together. They would kind of chill together. She never really liked to lay down next to him, but I think that was just like nobody wants to sleep in the bed with their brother when they're like
Yeah,
little. So that was kind of how I saw it. But they got along pretty well. And then
I
at a
love
certain
that.
point, Willow got so old that like she couldn't really see very well. So he would go near her and she would snap at him. He knew to back off. So then the last like year and a half, they probably weren't like as close, but they liked each other.
I find that admirable that he knew his place, and Willow always showed him
Yeah,
that.
Willow always wins.
Yeah. So
Yep.
my last pet. Oh no, you go.
No, I have nothing left.
Okay. So my last pet was Truman the dog. And
Truman.
let me tell you, I fucking hate this dog. I
Named
don't like
after
this dog.
great-grandfather Truman.
Yeah, we have a
Is it great-great?
great
Yeah,
grandfather
yeah.
Truman. So great grandfather Truman, um, just a little bit. He ended up going blind, and he was a really good musician. And we were like,
Yes.
oh, we'll name our dog after him. But
Who was a
our
little
dog is not
shyster,
like
by the
that
way.
because our dog's a little shithead.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
like dogs
except for Willow,
except for Willow.
obviously.
But Willow's more of
She is
like
kind of like a
a
house cat.
yeah. Willow's actually kind of a house cat.
She's a house cat because she doesn't pee outside. She just pees on the floor. She's a house cat without a litter box.
I love that.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
dad absolutely hated Willow. If you guys didn't know.
yeah. But I think at the end of the day, he actually kind of did love Willow.
Yeah, he did. It was like a love-hate relationship. Like he cried when we put her down, and then he was like home alone. We were all in Milwaukee, or no, we were at the cabin, which was actually when we recorded the first episode of this. We were
Yeah.
away and he was at home because he had to work. And he said it was like, because he works from home, he said it was actually, he kind of missed it, like the little cat and mouse game they were playing. Like he would always go down
Mm.
and get mad at her for peeing on the floor. He said it was kind of boring not having to care for her. So
That's actually really sad.
yeah, but and he also woke up like hearing her bark, but then he found out it was Max's, like Max snores. He has bad snoring problems, so he was like snoring really loud and weird. But he like thought like the ghost of Willow was coming back to haunt him or something.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, Willow did not like him either. Like when my dad was out of town, she would not pee on the floor for us. It was all out of spite.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she literally was just a little sassy queen.
See, I wish my dog was like that and just hated me, but my dog
Yeah,
fucking hates
no,
everyone. My
no,
dog's
and
a little
Truman,
spawn from Satan.
nice. I like Truman, but like I'm not a huge fan of like hyper dogs. Like he's a dog that you need to walk every day. He's a dog that
Yes.
like runs around and slobbers and chews on stuff.
He chews. And let me tell you, I did not want a dog to begin with.
And then you
Everyone
have to
else
take care
said
of
that they
him.
would take care of it, and me and my dad were like, we're hands off. And who takes care of him the most? Me and my dad.
That's how it goes.
Very annoying.
Yep.
Um, he right now he's going through his diarrhea era
Oh, that's a quite an era.
because everyone's like, oh, well, he'll go through his baby era and then his toddler era and his teenage era, and we've been going through this for years, and now he's in his diarrhea era, and I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, what's next? His throw up era. Speaking of which, he
Mm.
threw up everywhere, and the Packer game last weekend, and I
Great
stepped in
game, by
it.
the way.
It was a great game. It was a
But you
great
stepped
game.
in it. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So he threw up and twice actually, but I stepped in it once, but I thought it was just him licking me, so I like kicked him away, but it wasn't him, it was just throw up. So I like
Yeah.
flung his throw up. And a few minutes went by and I realized he threw up and my foot was full of throw up. Because I was wearing socks.
Nice.
So it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just warm. Yeah. Anyways,
End of the
the
story.
only thing I hate more. No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, end of the day, some pets you like, some pets you don't like, but they're always a pretty good time. Because my dad kind of hated Willow, but now he's kind of bored without her. So
Yeah.
pets are usually a good thing.
Except when they're furniture pets.
And can you, what does a furniture pet mean?
So a furniture pet. Now I was not the one who keyed this or made this term up, but
Coined this term.
yeah, coined this term. That's the word.
Yeah.
But furniture pet is a pet that you just watch, like a hermit crab
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like an ant farm. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're there, but you're not doing much. And the problem I have with this is a lot of times they're very inhumane.
Yeah, yeah.
Like hermit
Which,
crabs are social creatures, but they're just alone.
and what could you argue that plants and like succulents are house or are furniture pets?
I could,
And those
and it
are
makes me
you
really
like
sad.
those.
I do
Yeah.
really like those, and I
So
don't
there's
hate
some
all furniture
exceptions.
pets.
There's some
Um,
exceptions, yeah.
like frogs. I've had frogs were definitely furniture pets. We didn't
Yeah.
take those things out when we play with them. I don't think I ever touched my
Mhm.
thing until I was burying
Yeah. Well, I didn't bury mine. I probably flushed it. I don't remember.
it.
Well, I don't think I did it. I think my parents did it. So
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. Yeah,
And
but
I bet when one of them died, they just were like, all right, let's just flush the other one and get this over with.
yes, exactly.
All right. Yeah. So
Um,
furniture pets. Mostly bad, sometimes good.
Like fish, I do like fish.
I love fish. No, because fish are that's like a reality TV show. Like you start to get to
Yes.
know their personalities in the couple weeks or months they're alive, and they're yeah. I love the fish.
And I know I used ant farms as like an example, but I feel like a god when I have ants, when I pet ants.
Oh yeah, you can make
Right
it
now,
rain.
the only pet I personally have, not including Truman because that's not my dog,
Yeah,
is right now I'm raising a family of isopods in this little terrarium.
yeah,
And but the thing about it is I'm doing it ethically. They don't like they don't care as long as they're getting the food they need and enough room. Some animals, you can't really do it ethically. Like they need to
yeah.
leave, you know.
Especially zoos. Like our dream when we were 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6, were to just to be zookeepers together. We were gonna start a zoo, and I am realizing how unethical zoos are, and I kind of hate them.
Yeah. Same
A
with
lot of
SeaWorld and
oh yeah, those are bad. Like the way I read this one article about the way they treat the orcas and stuff is yeah,
I can't believe that that's like allowed. Like what?
yeah,
How's that
me
legal?
too. How is that legal?
Speaking of which, exotic pets like orcas,
Oh
people having exotic pets. I know sometimes it's unethical, but sometimes it's very cool.
no, and a lot of times it works. Like, well, when you say exotic pets, like having a pet tiger, having a pet lion, that stuff is like, no, that's not it. But like there are some pets like what do they have? Like sugar gliders. I don't know if that would be
Yes.
considered exotic, but that's like that's just an unusual pet, and I think they're really cool. Like
Yes. Maybe
chinchillas,
unusual pets. Like I like
unusual
unusual
pets, yeah.
pets.
Hmm.
Crows.
Like yeah, like foxes are starting to domesticate. I mean,
Yes.
they're like
Raccoons.
yeah, they're kind of changing the genetics of the foxes, which could be considered unethical. But at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is just make the foxes have like a good life, like cats and dogs do.
Yup.
Is that agreeable? No, but do I like it personally? I suppose.
Yeah. And
And then
then
there's
other
like some
things. You go.
like there's things you can like tame kinda. Like people will like bring deers and they'll feed them every day. Sorry, why did I say deers? They'll like have deer that they feed every day and stuff. And like eventually they get to the point where they can pet them and stuff. Like those
Mm-hmm.
aren't pets, but you're kind of caring for them in a way.
Our aunt does that.
Your aunt does that?
Our aunt, Kathy.
Who? Oh, Kathy does?
Yeah.
Well, that's news to me. I
Did you
like
ever
that.
hear about Bessie?
No,
Yeah. Also,
that's a story for
the
another
college
day.
I'm yeah, it is. But the college I'm looking at going to, they have a deer that they were helping through rehabilitation, which is another thing, rehabilitation centers. People that
Oh, for
like,
animals?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, rehabilitation centers. But that's what they're doing at the college, and they have a deer that's kind of
Hmm.
a greedy pig, so
Yeah.
it's like all social with all the people.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then
Oh,
there's pets that like a lot of people wouldn't consider pets, like horses and stuff like that, because you kind of
oh
more
yeah,
tame them. But like I consider a horse a pet, because I mean, do they sleep and live in your house? Most of the time, no. I would hope not. That would smell really terrible. Like you keep them in a stable, but they're like they're kind of just your like not your property, but you know what I mean. Like you tame them, you
yeah.
raise them. So I would consider that pet.
This is kind of unrelated, but did
Yeah,
you know that like thousands of years ago, there were horses that were just native to America. They were everywhere, and then they went extinct.
really.
Yup. And then so yeah, they were like so they were already used to this habitat. And then
Uh-huh.
when European settlers came over, because when the world was like all ice, ice age,
Oh yeah.
the horses from that side of the world must have come over to this side of the world. And then
Mhm.
when it thawed out, they went extinct on this side of the world. Then they came back. So now horses have been reintroduced into the ecosystem, which I think
And
is
who
very
knows?
interesting.
Maybe those original Native American horses were like five-legged. Maybe they could breathe fire. The world may
Yeah,
never know. No,
and maybe that's
yeah,
I I don't know if indigenous American cultures have dragons, but something like that.
yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Speaking of which, like going back to domesticating wild animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Um. birds, like falconing and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you
So
mean.
people that like tame falcons and then like just play with them, I want to do that so bad. Or
Hmm.
I want to have like a pet crow. Did you know that if you cut off or people do these things to like crows and they can
Yeah.
talk like parrots? Like that's insane. And crows are so
What?
smart. I love crows.
That's actually sick.
Yeah, and if you give them shiny stuff, then they'll bring you shiny stuff if they like you.
That's like an alley in Minecraft.
It is. It's I maybe that's what they based it off of.
Who
But yeah,
knows?
it's
Yeah.
so cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool. And then
And like go.
I also think you could consider pets like kind of like a rich person, how they like have peacocks kind of roaming around their
Mhm.
like courtyard or
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like you can consider that kind of stuff pets. Like I mean, what was I think it was Teddy Roosevelt had like a pet bear or something at the White House. Like, do you think he pet his bear? No. Do you think he
He had a
really
pet
like
bear?
I don't know, one of the presidents did. Maybe it was Calvin Coolidge, who knows.
Okay.
But
I think that
yeah,
Teddy Roosevelt was the one who didn't kill the bear, and that's why they made the teddy bear.
you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of pets people don't even interact with. They kind of just have there for show, like the peacock example again.
Yep.
And do I like that? No, but do I consider it a pet? Probably, yeah.
I need a pet with a purpose.
I need a pet with a purpose. That's a great idea.
Like when I was little, chickens.
Yeah,
We got eggs.
you got eggs.
Yep.
You ate.
Dogs. Farmers. Yep. I was eating them eggs.
Nom nom. Jesus.
um. Yeah. But like I need like dogs. My dog just takes. It's like a parasite.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. Like I need like even cats, honestly, as much as I like cats, I am a cat person.
Hmm.
They're not doing much. They
Well,
eat
yeah, but like
mice.
no, but like we'll see that as a big purpose. But then another purpose is just like
Johnny's afraid of
just
rodents.
to have. I'm terrified of rodents, but yeah, just to have like a companion. That's a huge purpose in itself.
I guess you are right. And some dogs are like therapy dogs, which I think is very
Oh, you're
noble. Or
right.
like police dogs. Have you ever watched a Dog's Purpose, where the police dog
N-
gets shot?
No, I wish. That
I
movie I heard is really sad. Like all my friends went to watch it in theaters when it came out, and they said they all cried.
I cried. I'm not gonna lie, and it
Yeah, and
takes.
you don't cry,
I don't really cry, so
and you're not
that
even a
was,
dog person. So
and I'm
that's
not a
yeah,
dog person, but that scene really got to me.
yeah. And there's like, doesn't he go through a bunch of like the soul's journey or whatever?
Yeah, I think that that was like based on like Buddhism. You know,
Yeah, something
a
like.
dog trying to reach nirvana.
Oh, really? And a police dog who gets shot doesn't do that?
Yeah,
Huh.
kind of weird. Maybe his like the
It was probably
universe
loose.
didn't want his life didn't want his cycle to end.
Yeah,
He must have had other parts of his character he had to develop.
yeah. So you were
But
talking
it's
about
so
oh, you
continue.
go. Keep going. Keep
No,
going.
you go.
Well, I was gonna switch topics, so you keep going on the same one.
Oh no. We can, let's go to parasites.
That's what I was gonna bring up because you
Yeah.
said you were gonna come back to that, and I don't know how that could possibly be a pet, but care
So
to explain?
like lice.
Lice, head lice,
Yeah, head lice. That's a pet.
head lice or pubic lice. Don't forget those crabs.
Crabs, both because okay. As much as I like hate the idea of having, I guess we all have bacteria in us. Um,
Hmm.
my SCOBY, but
Okay.
yeah, like that's a pet. Like when I think about it, like if I had worms in myself and I like, pass them through, I would feel bad. Or like some people like poison them. Like I know that that's like terrible to say, and obviously I would like take pills to like try and like get rid of them. But
Yeah.
like at a certain point, it's like this has been living with me for so long. I might as well just keep it because it's like my baby. Like
I I'm at a loss for words, and I'm just not gonna speak on this anymore. You
no,
can
but I just
you can keep going.
or like okay, some things are just gross. Like those like tapeworms. I don't know if they're tapeworms, but I know that there's a different kind of parasite that like lives in water, and it kind of like swims into people's urethras. That sounds so
Okay.
painful. That sounds terrible.
That does sound awful.
But even at our
Oh.
cabin, the water we have swimmer's itch.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Those are just little bugs
Are
that
those little
just
penis worms? We may never know.
we may never know.
Yeah.
Penis worm. Isn't there actually a worm called like the bobbit worm? And it's named after that lady who cut off her husband's penis?
What?
I swear,
Is
let me
that
look
really
this
a
up.
thing?
Let me look this up.
All
Um,
right. You do your research.
it's worm
AIDS, herpes,
story.
gonorrhea, scabies,
Scabies
and
and
crabs.
crabs.
You
Okay.
think you want the? Okay, go.
Um, one. Uh, yeah. So this worm, the scientist had read a story about this lady with the last name Bobbitt that cut off her husband's penis, and the man who discovered it had just read that story and named it after the lady Bobbitt.
This dude is way too interested in male genitals,
Yeah, but this
but he is a
penis,
scientist.
or not
Yeah.
this penis, this worm looks weird.
Does
Um,
it just go into your urethra?
no, it doesn't. It does. It actually has nothing to do with um like human genitalia, but it looks like it just happens to look like a penis, and it just kind of
Hmm.
snakes out and it just grabs onto fish. It's like one of those
Oh
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
live in coral.
Yeah. I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really cool though.
Just a
It's
little
not
wiener
cool.
that goes.
I
Nom, nom,
would
nom, nom,
not
nom,
want
nom, nom.
somebody to. You know how people get their like fingers cut off? I wonder if you could like reattach because you can reattach your fingers and they still work. Can you reattach your penis and it still
Really?
works? Yeah.
I for sure don't think you can have children if your penis is chopped off. You would have to have a really good doctor.
Well, it's not about your penis. It's more about because I'm pretty sure your semen's stored in your um
Yeah, yeah, it is.
your little deeper in your testes.
But you would have to like go in and like prepare, or you'd have to like repair the tube itself.
Yeah.
Like first, yeah. Well, okay. Let's not talk about sex education right now. This is about pets. I think we've
Yeah.
strayed a
This is
little off
about
track.
pets.
Okay, okay.
Speaking of which, in school this week we were like watching a video about like animals having sex, and the tortoises sounded like humans. It
Hmm.
was so funny.
Really? A
Yeah, it's
tortoise.
on PBS. Yeah, it's really cool.
I might have to give that a watch.
Yeah, it was like the way like animals are having sex. Like this is insane, and some of it isn't even like normal, like or not normal because obviously it's nature. Like, but
Yeah.
some of it's not even like the way that we have sex. Like they just like throw some eggs into the ocean and hope it finds a man, or
No,
they
no.
like
There's this one gecko or a lizard. I think it's a gecko that I saw. It's this video I actually recommend for you. It's like a 7 minute video about how this dude created his own ecosystem in like a
yeah,
terrarium, like a
I love that.
rainforest. Yeah, so I'll show you it afterwards. But it's he had this gecko that he introduced into it, and if you put like one of them in there, they like clone. Like they don't even need a male or a female.
Yeah,
They just clone. Yeah.
that was part of the video too. But
Hmm.
some lizards just don't have a gender. Same with like some fish. They're a man, and then a week later, after they have sex with the women, they
Yeah.
turn into a woman.
Oh, really?
We love I love trans representation in
That's
nature.
that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
What do we have next?
plants.
Plants. I know you love your plants, and I
I do
appreciate
love
your
my
plants.
plants.
I
Thank
have
you.
I have a very high level of respect, high amount of respect for plants.
I love plants. And plants don't have to be inside either. They can it's almost like an outdoor cat, indoor cat. You can have your microgreens on the inside and all your
Little
little exotic
succulents.
house plants.
Yeah.
Even for a while, I was into collecting like exotic house plants. I was about that pink princess philodendron and the white
And
knight
exotic fruits.
pothos.
Didn't you have like golden raspberries?
Yep, yep. For a while, I was like on that whole like, oh, I want to get like seeds of different exotic fruits, and I got golden raspberries. So I was growing those for a couple years, and then of course I moved.
Yeah,
But I would like to go back to that when I get older. Um, I
yeah,
think
because
that's just so interesting to me.
I think you're in the same boat as me. It's like you want to start doing that stuff again, kind of how I am with my guppy breeding. But it's like,
Yes.
what are you gonna do? You're like, I'm in the house for another year and a half. You're in the house for just another couple months,
Yup.
and like you're not gonna bring them to your college dorm. Your parents are gonna want to take care of them. It's just a hassle.
Yeah. But once we
And
have our own property, we'll be
yeah,
able to.
and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're both thinking about going into the van life after college, right?
Yes,
And so I
for
don't think we're
sure.
gonna. I know me for sure. I'm not gonna be able to have like a fish tank in a van. Slam
I
on the
know that
brakes and
that's
those suckers are out.
yeah, I know that that's not related to this, but let's talk about that for a while because
Okay, I love. Okay, here's my big plan. Um, so I'm gonna graduate college. I want to be a writer, so I'll major in something with that just to educate myself. But at that
yep,
point, I think I'll be good enough to like make a solid living off my writing. So I'll live the van life. I'll travel the country, go to these little cute little towns out west and stuff like that. Find inspiration. I want to write about like mystery, like thriller type stuff. So like I'll find like little, I'll find like locations where they'll have good like backstories that I can kind of base them off of, and
mhm,
I'll just do that for years of my life. I think into my 20s, and then when I'm in my 20s, late mid to late 20s, I'll probably want to start having kids. So that'll put an end to that. But I think I'll probably still keep my camper van so we can go on vacations and stuff.
yes, and I'm kind of thinking similar, but I want to buy little properties around the US or maybe just even North America, maybe
Yeah,
even
like
South
Canada would be
America.
cool.
Yes. Um,
So just little
but
like
and
tiny homes.
yep, and just travel around the world.
And the good thing about that is I think we've talked about this a lot, obviously, but I brought up to you once, like if you have all those little properties, you could like put them as Airbnbs. So when you're like when you know you're not going to be at home for a while, you can make some cash off it.
Exactly, and that's going to be how I'm going to profit off of it, and I'm going to be able to afford this living.
Yeah. And I'm
The
just
problem
banking on the
is,
fact I'll just be banking on the fact that I don't have like a novel that flops. And I'll
yep,
do like freelance work too, so we'll see. I'll learn more
my
about that.
yeah, my little problem is that I'm kind of planning on being a teacher, and obviously I'll have that summer off, which would be great to travel, but
Yeah.
traveling full time is a little bit better. But some teachers do online education as well, and I could do
True.
that. But
Yeah.
I don't really want to be I don't love the whole idea of supporting capitalism, but I'll have another video about that Johnny will not be in because that's a little political, but
I'm not a huge
yeah,
fan of politics. I don't like to
yeah,
disagree with people. I'm not much of a feather ruffler myself, so
yeah. Um, and I'm a little bit more confrontational, so
yes, you definitely are.
um,
No, I did not mean
yes.
that in a bad way, by the
No,
way.
no, no, no. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I actually kind of take pride in it, but
Yeah, you're very strong in your beliefs.
yeah, I have some strong opinions, which is kind of why I
I
started
would
a podcast. I wanted to throw that
yeah.
into the universe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We'll see how it fares.
yeah. So let's talk about our tier list.
Not a tier list, a bracket.
Or yeah, our bracket. So Johnny
So
has created this bracket of animals, and the way we did it were the seeds were what is the most popular
and
animal.
we kinda didn't take a whole lot of time on this because we don't have time to waste. So, like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
you're gonna
kind of
look
unorganized.
yeah, you're gonna look at some seeds and be like, "Oh, well, that's a 6 seed, and this is way more common than the 4 seed." Yeah, we don't care. It's fine. We're close enough.
Yeah, and some things were like too similar. Like some things that were similar, we just grouped together. Like
And
birds, we had a bunch of ideas for different birds, and we were just like, nope, birds.
we're not gonna do like a March Madness. We cut it in half. 32 teams or pets, you could say.
Yeah,
But then, like, some of them we group together, like, all birds are grouped together, all insects are grouped together, but then we have guinea pigs and, like, hamsters are different. And, like,
yeah,
just we can deal with it. I don't think anyone's gonna be choosing those to win the whole thing, so,
yeah. I'm not that worried about it.
yeah. Alright, so should we start?
Yeah, let's get a start on.
Here here we go. Number 1 seed dogs versus the number 8 seed Falcons.
Dogs versus falcons.
Okay,
I gotta go. I
Falcons
gotta
are
go with dogs. Falcons are
yeah,
cool, but we
Falcons
all
are
know
cool
who's
and
gonna
all.
win.
I mean, the man's best friend. Let's go.
Yeah, they've been there
Alright,
since the beginning.
the real OG. Next matchup, number 4 turtles versus number 5 squirrels, which people are starting to domesticate squirrels, if you didn't know. I hope you do know.
Yeah. Um,
I think a squirrel would be kind of a cool critter to have, but I would hate to look after one. And as we mentioned earlier, I don't like my rodents. Squirrels are one that's like so common you kind of see all the time. I'm not terrified of them, but like
hmm
I would want to keep my distance, so I'm gonna go turtle.
And I have to agree. I forgot to mention this, but I did have a turtle, and um, it actually
What was his
ran
name?
away. His name was
Your turtle
Fish.
ran?
It was our cousin's um
Oh, was it
pal
Callan's
house.
snapping turtle?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, I
Actually, it
remember
wasn't
that.
a snapping turtle. I think it was a painter turtle.
Really?
But it just tended to snap, and it ate a pencil
Ah,
once.
hmm.
Yeah. But we were cleaning its thing, and my little brother um thought it was sad that it looked sad, so he just moved it out of the pool, I guess, and just it just got away. So
Well, who knows what's going on with whatever that thing's name is. Fish, you said?
fish. Yep.
Fish the turtle. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next matchup. Number 3 seed rabbits versus 6 seed hermit crabs.
I gotta go with rabbits.
I'm going to agree. And like we talked about furniture pets earlier, hermit crabs were mentioned there, and I kind of like hermit crabs. I think they're a cool idea. I've never had one, and I don't really think I would do much with one, so I'll go with rabbits.
And people also have free range rabbits in their house, which
Really?
yeah, and they're like cats, and they do chew stuff up. But
Yeah.
if some people really don't mind that at all, obviously they have dogs like my dog. So
Yeah.
and I think you can potty train them to an extent. So I think that's cool. So I gotta go with rabbits.
Okay. Okay, number 2 seed birds, which includes all birds, and number 7 seed raccoons, which raccoons are kind of like cats, except they're more rodent-like, and they're kind
Yep.
of little, they're more critter-like, you know? I'm not a huge
Yeah,
fan of that. They kind of
and they're
gross me out.
yeah, I would agree. And I think it's cool that you can. What I want in the future is I want to feel like I'm a Disney princess where I go outside and all these animals love me. But
Frida Kahlo.
yes,
We just learned about her.
yep. But to an extent, I mean, I guess that could be the same with they're not scared of people, so they go up. But I think birds. That's just more of a versatile thing. So
Yeah, and
I have to go
we
with
talked
birds.
about yeah, we kind of made them a little OP just by putting all birds in one because that's like parrots, parakeets, like they can talk. We talked about
Yeah.
crows. It's just that's a little overpowered, and I am fine with it.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
All right, back to number 1 seeds. We got the number 1 seed hamsters slash gerbils, and the number 8 seed Cullen's beloved Scobie.
I'm going with Scobie.
And I definitely would not have chosen Scobie if it was just me, but it's not just me, and I don't like my rodents, so I will agree with you on that one. We'll go
Um,
Scobie.
well, first of all, I just don't like the other ones because they're nocturnal and they're also kind of little assholes.
No. Okay, hamsters, I mean, I would not wanna have a hamster in my bed. If it's in a cage, I like how they crawl in the tubes, that's cool. But then gerbils, those little red eyes, I would oh, that just makes
Let
me
me
sick.
let me explain what Scobie is to people who don't know. So
Yeah, because
Scobie
I
is
still don't know what it is.
a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So that's basically you're growing your own bacteria and it becomes this giant blob of slime, but you can use it to make kombucha, which I'm a kombucha whore. Um, I love my SCOBY, and I'm gonna start doing different kinds of SCOBY. But basically, what you do is once you have your SCOBY, you can same with kind of sourdough, like sourdough starters. That's almost like a pet because you're taking care of it. But um, so SCOBY, like you can just put different teas in it when you feel like it, and then you just have, and then at the end of the week when it's done, you have kombucha,
I think that's pretty cool.
and you just reuse it and reuse it. And it does look gross. Anybody who's seen that one episode of Jesse where Zuri's somebody's making, maybe it's Emma. Emma's making kombucha and then Zuri's all freaked out. But yeah, it's cool.
Yep. Alright, so Scobie moves on. Big upset.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 seed rat versus number 5 seed skunk. And I'm not a huge fan of skunks, but once you remove their little glands, they kind of become more like cats. And I still think that's like a little bit gross, but I absolutely despise rats. Like I'm afraid of rodents, but rats are the scariest of them all.
Yep.
So skunks for me.
I'm,
What's your call?
I like them both. I think that skunk, that's an underrated option, and they're very good pets. I know some people with pet skunks, but
Yeah, they're becoming a lot more common now.
they are. But also I I love rats. They're great pets. They're super smart and they're clean. They're very clean. Now mice on the other hand, nasty as hell. But
And I think
rats, they're clean.
we can kind of group mice together a little bit, but like woods mostly rats because that's the more
Yeah.
pet version. Okay,
th-
and
Yeah.
I'll try to state my case a little bit.
Yep.
You like them both, and you're pretty like on the fence about it. I despise rats, so I think if we had to go with the common opinion between the two of us, it would be skunks.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think
Okay,
that skunk moves on from this, and it's also kind of an uncommon choice, so I think it's probably good that it moves on.
yeah. So
Give it a
it's a
little more
time.
recognition.
That's right. Yep. All right. Number three seed horses versus number six seed chinchillas. This is a hard one for me, quite honestly, because I've never ridden a horse, and I kind of think of them more as farm animals. But chinchillas are cute little guys, and I think a chinchilla's a rodent, and
Yep.
I I can't control my fears. I don't know why I'm not afraid of the chinchilla. I've never held one, so they just look cool.
I'm I think they're little shitheads and they're terrible and they're mean and they bite.
Really?
Yep, and I think that horses are cool and um I mean I wouldn't ever want a horse, but I
Yeah.
know people that have horses and I think that horse moves on.
I will agree with you because at the end of the day, a chinchilla is just an exotic rodent that I haven't been around enough to be afraid of. So,
Actually, I think it might be a
hor
marsupial.
is it really?
Let me look it up.
Well, it's small like a rodent, and it looks like a rodent.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, marsupials are pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I'll look it up. But that might explain why you're not afraid of them. If
Yeah.
um oh, never mind. They're not. So I was you were right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Number two seed lizards versus number seven seed peacocks. And peacocks are not much of a pet in themselves. And lizards, that includes geckos, bearded dragons, iguanas, chameleons. That's an easy choice for me.
People with peacocks are the Joe Exotics of the world,
Yes.
and I love it, but I don't love the peacocks. And I think they're fucking loud, but they don't make and they do make eggs, but they're not good eggs. Like you're not gonna make an omelet out of a peacock egg. I mean, some people are, but I'm not. So I have to agree with you.
Yep. Let's go lizards. And when I told you guys multiple times that birds includes all birds, I lied because chickens, ducks, and peacocks are all on this list. And sorry about that. Okay, one seed cats versus eight seed sugar gliders. And I think sugar gliders are really cool and they seem cool to have. But I think after a week of having a sugar glider, I would be wishing I had a cat. So cats, and they're really popular. They deserve their credit.
I agree. I like cats, and again, they're the OG. They're one of the OG pets. They're very common, and they
Yep.
domesticated themselves. Dogs we domesticated, but cats just kind of showed up, and I give them props for that. They knew what they wanted, and they did it. So
Well, I didn't know that, but that's cool. All right, number four seed frogs versus number five seed ducks. And I know we both had frogs and you had a duck. And um, I'm gonna be honest, ducks sound cool and all, but we love frogs. You're Uncle Toad.
I am Uncle Toad, but a toad and a frog are not the same thing.
They're
They
not,
come
but
from the
like,
same. They do come from the same like line of genetics, but
and we love both of them. So
yeah. I'm going to have. Well, I don't know, because ducks, when they're living inside, when they were living on the porch, they were loud. They shit everywhere. They were not clean, but they
hmm
were very cute and they follow you around and they do fly.
yeah, okay, but
So I don't know.
also think about you might be thinking about only the African dwarf frogs. People have like pet poison dart frogs in like a terrarium.
I would
Like they have
agree, but
tree frogs.
Can you do
You know,
that ethically?
I cannot answer that question.
Um,
But
but
I wouldn't think it would be any more unethical than like a some sort of lizard, you know? I
yep,
mean, except you could, I guess, pick up the lizards, but
yep.
who knows if they even like getting picked up.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to agree with you, and I think that we don't give it to the chickens or the ducks. I mean,
Ducks, yeah.
they
And
were
like,
just kind of gross and messy, and frogs are just so cool.
yeah.
They're
And frog,
amphibians.
okay, we're a little biased because well, I don't know about you, but frogs are my favorite animals.
Um,
But
they're
are they my
not my
favorite
favorite,
pet?
but they are definitely up there, and they're really cool.
Yeah. And like, I
Another
don't know if
thing.
they're, you go,
Sorry,
you
you
go.
go. You go.
Nope, nope. You've let me have too many this day.
Okay. Well, they're both native to Wisconsin, which I think is really cool. Like
Oh,
I like
ducks are
how
cool. Oh,
whatnot, and like
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, same with frogs. I think that that's cool. So,
Mm-hmm. All right, so frogs move on. We got number 3 seed guinea pig versus number 6 seed newts and salamanders.
oh, newts and
Okay,
salamanders, easy.
yeah, yeah, I'll go with that too. Guinea pigs are probably my favorite rodent because we had a class guinea pig in middle school and it was actually manageable.
Newts and sal. I do like guinea pigs more than I like hamsters and stuff. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, newts and salamanders are one of my favorite animals. They're highly spiritual and they're just so cool. Same with
yeah,
cats. They're very
hmm
spiritual animals. I do need to give them some credit for that. So
yeah. And also, I'm noticing this episode is going pretty long and it's gonna go longer than most other episodes. And I'm not sorry. Are you sorry?
I'm not sorry.
If you're still listening, you're having a great time. So, all
Yeah,
right, number
we
2
really
seed
said this was gonna
snakes.
be 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, we were thinking like, oh yeah, let's start making the episodes shorter, maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep, and
Nope.
no.
Well, I'm having a good time, so who
Yep,
cares?
me too.
All right, 2 seed snakes versus 7 seeds deer. This is kind of hard because I know a lot of people like their snakes and they're cool, and there's a lot of different kinds. But deer, like Frida Kahlo had a deer, the deer that you come back to feed, you know.
Yep. I
I I
I
could
have to
go
give
either
it
way.
to I could go either way too. I'm gonna give it to deer though, because again, my fantasy of just walking outside and having a pet deer is so
Yeah.
cool. I Snakes are one of my favorite animals. Not to sound like a millennial, but I am a Slytherin.
Oh, nice.
I just but I do have to give them to the deer.
Yeah, because
So
I think deer at the end of the day would be a cooler pet. And I
yeah, I
honestly like
agree.
wild deer more than snakes, but that's just me. I know it's probably not you.
And also, when snakes shit, it smells terrible.
Really?
It's the grossest smell. It's just ugh. And also, just their like the thing that they secrete when you touch them, and the smell of that is gross too. And it's greasy, and they're very pretty, and they're very
Yeah.
beautiful animals. But I so are there's something so majestic about a deer,
Yeah,
and
and
I
they're so
love it.
peaceful. They're so peaceful.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Number 1
But they're
seed.
really annoying in
Oh,
the road. Like them bitches
oh
do
yeah.
not know how to fucking leave.
No. Like my mom was parked in park stopping for a train and it to the side of her car and wrecked it.
Yeah, and I hit a I hit a deer with my bike once, and it fucking that thing made my tire into an oval, and
Yeah.
that shit was scary as fuck because I was
And it
um
probably hurt too.
it didn't hurt, but I it was
Oh, okay.
terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying because I was in a graveyard. This was probably eighth grade, and I
Oh
was just
yeah.
biking around at night. It jumped out from through a headstone or whatever they're called, headstone, and
Gravestone, yeah.
I hit it. Yeah, and it was terrifying. It was dark out because it was winter, so it got up dark really early.
Yeah. And also, before we move on, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. It might sound like we're cutting each other off a lot, but there's like a 1 or 2 second delay between what we're saying. So we pretty much have no clue what we're doing. So that's all right.
Not only that, one of my AirPods just died, so my
Oh,
audio might be a little messed up, but I don't know. So we're gonna see, and I'm charging it right now. So I'm hoping that
Yeah, you sound fine to me, so fingers crossed.
you sound good too,
Oh, well,
Abe.
thank you so much. Thanks, baby. Okay, 1 seed fish versus 8 seed foxes.
Um, um,
Well, I have a
foxes.
little, I have a little bias because I had my little guppy farm and I loved my guppies. And
Oh yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
s-
Actually,
I'll state my case. Just like fish, they don't really do much, but they're fun to watch. And then foxes, they're not 100% domesticated yet.
I was kind of just thinking because we could have the deer fox from Hilda, but now that you
Oh, you're
say
right.
that, but now that I think about it, fish might be the clear winner. Um, and
Yeah.
even like kind of freshwater fish. I don't love saltwater fish, but Johnny's into the saltwater fish, but also like crayfish
No,
and other.
guppies are actually freshwater.
Oh, are they?
They're from South America, yeah. But
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
yeah. I mean, tropical like saltwater fish, like tropical fish, are cool too. I never had any, but I think they would be pretty cool to have. But yeah, guppies are where my heart lies.
I, you know, I'm gonna go with the fish.
Yeah, you got to give it to them. They're more
Yeah,
common too. Like they're more commonly liked as
yeah, and
pets.
it is kind of a furniture thing, but I don't care. And they're good for fishing. You can raise
Yep.
minnows.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Number 4 seed chickens versus number 5 seed toads. I'll let you go first on this one.
toads.
Toads? Okay,
I
I'll go
I
toads too.
actually no, no. I love chickens as a pet. Toads, beautiful animal. One of
Yeah.
my favorites. I'm Uncle Toad.
You are Uncle Toad.
I'm the king of catching toads and all that,
Yeah.
but not really a pet.
I've
Keep them in
never
nature.
heard of anyone who has a pet toad.
I've seen it, but that's just me selectively looking it up. Um,
Yeah. I think
so
I think it would
I
be
think
cool to have one in a terrarium. And I don't know, like chickens just don't seem that appealing to have as a pet, but you've had a pet chicken, you've had pet chickens, plural.
mhm.
So I'll trust whatever your word is. That's why I let you go first on this one.
Actually it's a very good pet. Um, yeah,
So you're going chickens?
I go chickens.
I'll agree, just because I love my over easy eggs. Okay. Number 3 seed insects versus number 6 seed hedgehogs. Okay, so insects, let's get that out of the way. We're including worms because like composting bins and stuff. Maggots, can you explain that to me?
So, I've had pet maggots. How you do it is, um, you take acorns, you throw them in some oats, and then you let the maggots that go inside of the acorns and lay their eggs. In the beginning of the season, you let them come out and you raise them, and then you can use them as my other pair.
Whoa,
I'm gonna switch.
you just got very loud. Hello? All right, we're on standby here, so I'll just ramble on for a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of insects. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, there we are. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of insects. Well, sorry, Matt, you continue on maggots. I tried to do a little intermission.
So the thing with maggots is that you can use them as chicken feed. You can use them as for fishing, just even like feeding them to other birds. I'm like falconers use them and stuff. I think that's an amazing thing. But same with worms. Like that's another part of insects. I use them for my compost bins. I love them, and yeah,
Yep. Okay, so that's insects. That also includes like tarantulas, like stick bugs, whatever you want to have. Your
yeah.
isopods.
Yep, my isopods, springtails. I put those in my terrariums. They eat mold. Kind of also, I don't know if this counts, but snails.
Yeah,
They're
I
great
would
for eating
include those.
algae. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
so
think that those are great pets.
and then we got
Oh, I had
little
a
cute
pet millipede
hedgehogs on the
too.
other side. Oh, what'd you have?
I had a pet millipede for a couple months
Oh,
there
nice.
because one of the ladies that I was buying plants from, um, she was like, "Hey, do you want a millipede? It just showed up on this plant that I got in, and I don't really want to take care of it." And I took care of it for 2 years, and then it died, and it had babies, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's insects. Hedgehogs,
Hmm.
very cute, very cuddly. You can hold them in your palm. And okay, for me personally, I don't think I would enjoy having an insect, and it seems like more of a furniture pet to me. And then, so those are the kinds of insects that you keep in a terrarium. And then you have the kind of insects like maggots and worms. And I think if their only purpose really is to just like be like bait or food, I wouldn't consider them a good pet. So I'm gonna go with hedgehogs, but you can disagree on that.
Um, I like hedgehogs. You know, Jan Brett, the children's author, I think that's what her name is. But she wrote The Mitten. She wrote a few other classic children's books. She had a
I
pet.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah, she had a pet hedgehog. But I have to go with insects because they just have so many uses. You know, hedgehogs are
Yeah.
so cool, and some people hate on them because of their quills. I think that's so cool.
No, but
But
they're not like a porcupine. They're like
yeah,
little quills, yeah.
they're so nice. They're such sweet little animals.
Yeah.
But I do have to give it to. I'll let me put some other things on the table.
Yeah.
So how we learn about death when we're children. You know, it's either from fish or it's from having a pet caterpillar, a monarch caterpillar.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
there are just so
butterflies, yeah.
many. Yep, there are just so many things that insects do,
Uh-huh. I'll
and
stop you right there. I'll switch my vote to insects just because much like chickens, I've never had either insects or hedgehog insects. So I'll trust your word.
okay,
And it's kind of another like a wide variety topic, kind of like birds. Like it would be a little sad if they lost to just one singular hedgehog, you know?
yeah,
Okay, let's go plants versus axolotls. And plants, that's another huge wide variety.
yeah. But also plants don't really do much, and axolotls are very cool,
They are
and
so cool.
they're going extinct um in the wild. Even the mud puppies that are not axolotls, but they're similar and they're from the Great Lakes, um, they're kind of just reduced um to pets now.
Yeah. And I think axolotls are so cool. I love axolotls, and they're probably one of my favorite animals at the time. But there's always a but. Uh, plants is another like wide variety pet, and if I have to put it down to one thing, like I know you like plants a lot and you've had plants and they sound cool.
Hmm.
If I had to say like, will I have plants when I grow up? Probably. Will I have a pet axolotl? Probably not. And that's
Yup,
where I'm gonna put my vote at plants. As much as it pains me to do, because I love axolotls.
axolotls are so cool. They regrow their limbs. They're one of the only animals that can do that. Um, but I plants, they're so accessible to everybody. Anybody can have a plant.
Just get a
Um,
cactus. You don't have to
yup,
water it barely.
you can feed yourself through them. They are proven to be better for your mental health. They're so easy to take care of, and they help with oxygen levels in your home. So I just got to give it to the plant.
Yep, we'll go plants.
And they also can help, you know, in a terrarium. They go good with other they go good with other pets. So,
Yeah. And as we're nearing the hour mark, we just finished the first round. So we're about halfway through the bracket. We'll get through the rest of it, wrap up the episode. If you
now that
stayed
we're not
this
explaining it though, I think it'll go a little bit faster.
yeah, but we're still gonna have to kind of give our reasons if we disagree. But
Okay, yeah.
nonetheless, let's just move on. We got number one seed dogs versus number four seed turtles. And can this just be an easy one? Because I think it's an
Yeah,
easy one.
yeah,
We'll
easy.
go dogs.
Yeah.
Great companions. All right, number three seed rabbits versus number two seed birds. I'll have to give it to birds just because there's such a wide variety.
Yep, I'm gonna go with the same.
And rabbits kind of just don't do much in my opinion. Um, here we go. Here's an odd matchup. Two upsets. Number eight seed Scoby versus number five seed Skunk. Hmm.
I that's kind of an interesting little fight.
It
But
is because they're so different, and I don't quite like either of them. I'll
I
let
don't
you.
quite hate either of them.
I'll let you decide my vote because I think I would go for Skunk because I've just never really heard of Scoby before 2 hours ago. But
Yeah. So Scoby is really cool, but is it a pet? as much as it's um something helpful. Like I grow mushrooms in my house, but we didn't include that in pets. And SCOBY kind of is similar. It's just helping me make food. And I think we all know that whatever plant is going up against, plant is winning this time. So I have to give it to skunk. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
give it to skunk.
I would probably also say skunk if it were just me, just because, I mean, they're kind of like cats. So
Yeah.
yeah. So skunks move on. Now we got 3-seed horse versus 2-seed lizards. And horses, great companions. I love them. And people who have horses are probably gonna kill me. But I think iguanas and chameleons and bearded dragons are so, so, so cool. I'm gonna go lizards.
Going back to Miss Kipling, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Uh,
we gotta go with the lizards. They're cool.
two
They can re.
words. Two words. Nuff said.
Yup, yup,
That's yeah. Just Miss Kipling is all I really needed.
yup.
Okay. 1-seed cats versus 4-seed frogs. And we're kind of going back to the conversation. Like frogs, amazing animals, so cool, but are they really pets? Yes, but not as much as a cat would be.
Yup.
And cats are kind of juggernauts. I'm gonna go cats.
I gotta go with cats because I just think that they're just the best.
Yeah, you're a cat person. Those will go
I'm a
far
cat.
in this. Here
They're
we
they're
go. We
good
got
pets.
They are good pets. And like even me, I wouldn't really like to pet a cat, but like I could see myself having a cat when I grow up, just like roaming the house, eating mice, big thing. That's huge
Mhm,
bonus points
mhm.
for me.
Even
So
snakes.
just for that alone.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah. But snakes, I don't like them because you have to buy the mice to feed them. That
yep.
terrifies me.
Um, it's on the outside, but if you have an outdoor cat, you never have to worry about mice or anything like that.
Yeah.
They
Uh-huh.
also, but I I,
Uh,
I would never do an outdoor cat because they're terrible for native ecosystems. That's a big thing for me. But you
yeah.
know, in theory, if a mouse got in your house, that cat would beat
Snarf
that
that
bitch up.
baby up.
Yup.
Yep, yep. All right. Now we got 6-seed newt slash salamander versus 7-seed deer. And I could go either way on this. I really think having like just a deer domesticated or like coming back day in and day out would be really cool. But I love newts and salamanders. But what do you really do with a newt or a salamander?
Yup.
They kind of
And
seem, yeah, they seem
yeah.
more like furniture pets. So I'll go deer.
Um, Newts and salamanders are so cool. Probably my favorite animal. You know that one Hokage from the Land of the Mist. His thing was he was the salamander sage. He was so cool. Giant salamanders exist in Japan.
Yeah,
Um, Salamanders are native to a lot of the northern hemisphere, and I believe even parts of the southern hemisphere. Versatile, so cool. But deer are so cool. There's something so there's these are both very spiritual animals, and I really adore them for both of that. But I have to give it to the deer. I
yep.
like the idea. What do you do with it? You catch them, and then that's it. They look cool, but and they're meant to be in the wild. Same with deer, but you call that deer, and that deer is gonna come. So
Just give it a
they're
little sweet.
yup,
All right. Deer 7-seed moves on to the Elite Eight. So that's a pretty big upset. But like everyone likes a deer. You just don't really think of it as a pet. That's why it's such a low seed.
yup.
All right, number 1-seed fish versus number 4-seed chickens. And we know where I'm gonna go with this, but I'll let you talk, Colin.
Wait, sorry, could you say that again?
Number 1 fish versus number 4 chickens.
I this is hard. Um, let's flip a coin. Heads,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
chicken, tails. I could go either way because I think that they both have practical use and they're both just cool pets, and neither of
And
them are terribly hard to take care of. So
if you're gonna say you could go either way, I strongly believe it's fish. So do we
yeah,
need to go to a coin flip?
yup. No, let's just go with fish.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You know I love my guppies.
And I've had both. Um,
Mhm.
and our I'm thinking about having a koi pond when I get older.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I
yeah,
didn't even think of that as like pet fish, but those are. I like that. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Number three seed insects versus number two seed plants. Hmm. I'm gonna go plants.
I have to go with plants too.
All right.
They're both amazing, and a lot of times they go side by side. But you know, you, we need oxygen, and um, the insects are taking in carbon. So and
Yeah.
or
And here
they're taking in oxygen and putting out carbon. So
and let's just say hypothetically, here's another kind of way we can kind of tie break stuff. Let's say you broke your insect terrarium. That would be pretty like I would not be very comfortable in a house with all those things roaming. If you broke your plant vase or whatever you're keeping your plant in, like yeah, the plants probably are going to be a little damaged and I feel bad, but I mean, it's not a big deal. So
and
they're
they're
easier in
gonna
that way.
live, and they're so
Yeah,
resilient.
they are. So plants move on. Now on to the Elite Eight. Number one seed dogs versus number two seed birds. And I personally am not a huge fan of birds. Like they've made it this far, but I'll go with dogs.
Dog's best friend or a human's best man's best friend.
Yep, that's right. The
Yep.
dogs move on to the final four, and
Yep.
they've been the easiest choice so far. They're going to be pretty hard to take down. Now
Yeah.
we got number five seed skunks versus number two seed lizards. Uh,
Um,
I know where I'm at with this.
Lizards.
Lizards. I mean, have
Yeah.
you ever seen a chameleon and an iguana? Those are just so cool.
Even like leopard geckos and just all that.
Yeah, they're all really cool. Okay, let's go one seed cats versus seven seed deer. And deer, they've made it this far. Big underdog, big under deer. We love deer, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go with. I'm not even a cat person, but I can just agree that cats are just amazing. So I'll go cats.
Cats are again the G's.
Real OGs.
Yup. So cat.
All right, now we got number one seed fish versus number two seed plants. Oh, I know what probably should be the answer, but I love my fish, and I'll go with that. And if it has to come down to a coin flip, so be it.
Then it's gonna have to come down to a coin flip.
All right. I don't actually have a coin on me, so I'll find what would be
No,
fair to flip.
I got one. I got one.
You have one. You have one. Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna
Okay.
go.
Fish is on top, so we'll go fish heads, plants tails.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Heads.
Heads. Fish move
Yep.
on. Okay. Now, final four. We have three one seeds and one two seed. So if you're a big fan of upsets, sorry, today's not your day. We'll probably do more brackets, tier lists, and stuff. So
Overall, me and Johnny agree on quite a bit. So
yeah. So yeah. Let's go one seed dogs versus two seed lizards. And I've been talking up lizards this whole time, and they are really cool. But I've had two dogs. I love my dogs. Let's go one seed dogs for me.
yup. Um, this one's a little bit harder for me.
Yeah, this is the biggest competition for dogs yet, but
Yeah, but you know, dogs are just a man's best friend. They're helpful. They've helped us for thousands of years, and lizards actually historically have not helped us.
yeah.
So I'm going
And
to have to go with
at the end of the day, they're kind of furniture pets. As much as I
yup.
hate to say it, they are a little bit. And I did not know what that meant 69 minutes ago. That's how far we are into this recording. So,
Um,
uh,
but also, Balto, great movie, and I'm reading the book right now, which I'll probably do a book review podcast about it. Maybe even Johnny will be part of that if he reads it with me. But
what's it called?
um, Balto, there's a book about it. I don't know exactly what it's called, but we'll probably end up doing a book review, and I think
Okay.
Johnny would really enjoy that book too. So,
I like to read. I like to
yep,
write. So, okay, so dogs move on to the championship. Yeah, big surprise. Now we got cats versus fish.
cats.
And
We all know.
I don't quite know. Like I would choose fish. I would choose fish personally, but I'll give cats the respect and credit.
Yep,
Cats can move on. And fish already
Okay.
won a coin flip. I'm not gonna make it go to 2 because if they win that, then it's kind of just cheap. It's not even us, you know.
Yeah.
And this is your podcast after all. So now we've got the question that has plagued the human race for centuries: dogs versus cats.
Oh no.
Ooh, I know
I
I'm a dog person, and I know you're a cat person.
Yep.
So what's it gonna be? A coin flip, or are we gonna come to a consensus?
I think we should come to a consensus. And I think that I could bring you to the dark side.
Ah, I don't know, because if I think about it, I know I'm gonna have a dog when I grow up. I could have a
Yup.
cat, but I don't really want a cat. And yeah, like I've had 2 dogs. I've had no cats. Dogs are more fun to play with, in my opinion.
Mhm.
That's all opinion based. They're more fun to pet, in my opinion. They are more work, so that's one downfall. But
Yup.
if you get the right
Um,
kind of dog, they're amazing.
I think my thing is that cats, they are you don't have to clean up after them as much, you know? Of course they have accidents, but that's any animal. They don't shit outside
Yeah.
or even inside. Like they got a litter box and that's where they're gonna be. You can get outdoor dogs, or you can get like different breeds of cats that are gonna be super like chill, and you can get different breeds of cats that are gonna be just going outside and making a ruckus.
Yeah. And
So,
I don't know.
but also like the other thing is dogs have gotten to that point too, where there are dogs that are just gonna be chill,
Hmm.
not going to be chill. So I think
Yeah.
at the end,
And so,
I think we might have to do a coin flip. And but now that we've said our
okay.
reasons,
And
yeah.
yeah, I'll respect this is your podcast and I do like cats a lot and I respect your opinion. So dogs is head, cats is tails. I'll make sure dogs have to win twice to win the whole tournament.
Okay. And also
So we need to,
I respect yours as well because um both of them are very similar. They're both
yeah,
prehistoric.
but they're
And
also polar opposites, you know?
yeah, they are kind of two heads of the same coin, which is um ironically how this is gonna end. So
And yeah, sorry about this, guys. I know you probably wanted to reach a consensus, but this is gonna come down to a coin flip. The greatest question of all time, dogs versus cats. All right. So we need 2 heads in a row for dogs or just 1 tails for cats.
no, 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 no.
We're
Let's
just
do
gonna
best
go
out of three.
best of 3. Okay, okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, first one.
Heads.
So there's one for dogs, one more and they win, or 2 tails is cats.
Okay, tails.
Ooh, all
Ooh,
right.
okay.
Forcing a
Okay.
game 3.
Okay.
Here we go. To answer the question,
Heads.
heads, dogs win.
Okay, so dogs win. I do respect the dogs a lot.
Yep. And it
I
kind of,
personally don't like my dog, but I think if I
yeah,
would have ended up with a different dog, I would have liked
y-
that a little bit more.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, because like neither of us have really ever had a cat, and I like cats. You love cats, but like, yeah, your dog has kind of left a sour taste in your mouth, I say.
Yeah.
But I have respect for both of them. I could see myself having both of them. So
Yeah.
dogs wins the pets bracket.
Yep. And I would like to thank everybody for listening tonight or today or
I would,
whatever time
you
you're
know what?
listening.
I would also like to thank everybody.
We're just so respectful.
We are so thankful. I'm grateful for each and every one of you.
Thanksgiving part 2,
Yes,
some
that's
might
right.
say.
That's it. Yep, yep, yep. Oh,
So,
this is a
with
long
that,
one.
I
This
think
is a
we're going
long
to
one.
be this was our longest one. Ironically, we said this was going to be like 15 to 20 minutes and ended up being 74 minutes.
And that's just how it goes sometimes. We talked about pets for 75 minutes.
Yep. Um
But
and
am I sorry? No.
no, I'm not sorry. And if you listen to this point, you're a real one, honestly.
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Yeah, lasagna.
Okay, so we're gonna be
Let's leave it on
ending,
that note.
and within this week, we're gonna try and post another one.
We need those episodes to crank out. I don't know if I'll be a guest star. Colin can just talk to himself. He can have Quinn and Taylor, also real G's.
We'll see. I do really love having Johnny on the show, of course, and yeah, I'd like to thank you
But
as
thank
well,
you,
Johnny.
thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye bye.